Hello ladies and gents, boys and girls, my name is Jack, welcome back to the channel. Join me here in the garage. We've got the Ninja H2 there, we've also got the Thruxton TFC under the cover as well. Last week we looked at 5 things that I love about the Ninja H2. This week though we're going to flip that on its head and look at a few things that I hate about the Ninja H2. So sit back, relax, I'm going to get changed and I'll see you out on the road.
Okay everyone, well, those pictures you saw were filmed today. So believe me when I tell you, it's very cold out. And to be honest with you, despite the fact that I filmed all of that winter scene earlier on, I've decided not to really dress for the occasion, which I'm starting to regret already. Let's get on to the point of the video once again. And that's the truth about the Ninja H2. Earlier in the start video, I said that I wanted to tell you a few things that I hate about the Ninja H2. Now, hate's a very strong word, and I'm actually going to rescind that, because there's nothing that I hate about the Ninja H2. But there are a few things, niggly irritances, that I have about the H2. And a lot of them I went into the H2 ownership experience, I guess, fully aware of a lot of these things. That was a quick one. So I can't be too harsh on the H2 for that. On the basis that I willingly started this little journey in the know. But the first thing I would say that bugs me about the H2 is its fuel consumption. Or more something associated with its fuel consumption. So the Ninja H2, obviously, very powerful engine, a big engine, lots of power. It's going to use a lot of fuel. There's no two ways about it. So of course I knew about that when I bought the bike. I perhaps didn't realise how much time I would spend in petrol stations, or gas stations if you're watching in America. And it really is a lot, and the expense can add up quite a lot. But that's not my main issue with the fuel system. My main issue is that despite the fact it's a gas guzzling litre bike, it doesn't have a range indicator. But I just can't understand why not, because a lot of other bikes do. And this is perfectly set up for it with its brand new TFT screen. It's a 2019 model. So it's got the new TFT display. So for me, it should have a range indicator, particularly because of its fuel consumption. Now what it does do, of course, as you'd expect, is it does bring you, or make you aware of a low fuel state by giving you an indication. But even that indication isn't associated with any clue as to how far you have left. Now I'm sure there's something in the owner's manual that will possibly tell me that you've got an approximate amount of fuel once you get that indication, but I haven't delved into that just yet. But I don't think you should have to. I think it should come with a fuel indicator. So that's my first gripe with the Ninja H2. Now where am I recording this video? We're riding into town, into Tunbridge Wells in Kent, which is a county of England. And that's the perfect place to maybe even demonstrate to you my second gripe about the Ninja H2. And that's the neutral gate in the gearbox. Now with most other bikes I haven't had an issue with the neutral gate. Of course sometimes you find neutral when you don't want to on other bikes, and sometimes you can't quite kick it into neutral when you do want to, but the Ninja H2 takes that frustration to a whole other level. Now I don't know the mechanics behind it or the reason behind it, but I think most people that own a Ninja H2 will tell you that it can be quite difficult to find that neutral gate once you've come to a standstill. So, situation like this, come to a red light, I mean not particularly this one, it's just a pedestrian crossing, but come to a red light on a big intersection somewhere, and you might want to rest your hands and feet, drop it into neutral, and you're already down into first gear, and you give that half kick up to try and find the neutral gate, sequential gearbox, as you'd expect, try and find that neutral gate, and it drops into second. And then once you're into second, you give it a little half kick down, try and find the gate, and it drops into first again. And you can spend the entire duration of the red light playing this game. Well, half the time you just don't even bother, and you leave it exactly where it is. Now the next problem I have with the Ninja H2, at least this one, but I think it's associated with that issue, is the quick shifter in the low rev ranges. So Kawasaki quick shifter KQS is usable above 2,500 RPM. And for me, if it's usable above 2,500 RPM, it should be as usable at 2,500 RPM as it is at 13,000 RPM. But it's not. Now I love the quick shifter, and every opportunity I can I use it, even around town, because you get to 2,500 RPM on the Ninja H2 very quickly. So actually you're in that rev range quite a lot. But what you'll find is that it won't always kick up from first to second gear very smoothly. In the higher rev ranges it does. So when you're really trying to accelerate, it works every time, absolutely no problems at all. When you're in the low rev ranges and you're not really gunning it, sometimes it can be a little bit fidgety, and it will drop you, ironically, into neutral, the gate that you couldn't find very well 5 minutes before when you were sat at a red light. Well, that can be very annoying, because the place that it always seems to happen it's a place that you really don't want it to happen, and that's down a busy high street or somewhere. And the issue with that is that, of course, you're on a litre bike, it looks how it looks and everything else, and you just look like that prat who's rev bombing down the high street, and I'm not that prat. So that can be very frustrating, apart from the fact that you're not getting the performance you want from the engine. Now, first gear to second gear, you tend to be in a position where you're needing to accelerate. So this might be in the middle of a busy junction. And if you're in neutral gear, you don't have the ability to get yourself out of danger. So it can actually be a dangerous thing if it catches you out. Luckily for me, it's happened so many times that I'm quite used to it, I know to expect it, and I very quickly just pull the clutch in, tap the gear changer, and it will jump straight into second. But it's really annoying, particularly the way it makes you rev bomb in places that you don't want to. So that would be the second thing, a few little glitches surrounding the neutral gate. And the third thing, it just did it, did you see? Okay, anyway, moving on, the third thing that I find about the Ninja H2, it's quite an obvious thing really, and again it's one of those things that I came into owning the Ninja H2 fully expecting, but it's a very expensive bike, not just to purchase but also to run. So we've already talked about the fuel. In the UK, fuel is quite expensive because there's a lot of tax on fuel. But of course, insurance is very expensive because of the performance of the bike. This is my first litre bike, so the insurance company that I went with, they decided that because I hadn't been on or insured on a bike of this kind before, that they'd give me a year to see if I binned it before they would drop the insurance premium. And this is my first year of owning it, so far my insurance premiums on it have just been through the roof. Much more so than even other big engined bikes. So it's all about the performance of this rather than the size of the engine. And of course, why do you get insurance? Well, it's in case you damage the bike. But if you were to damage the bike and claim on the insurance, obviously your premiums go up. So I always look, if I do any damage to any vehicle, I always look to try and correct it myself if possible. The other problem with the H2 is the price of its components. Now, I've seen on other YouTube websites, YouTube shows or channels, vloggers who have H2s talking about panels that they've damaged and dented. I saw one talking about his fuel tank. On the very first day of owning it, he dented his fuel tank. And it's funny because on my previous video I had a viewer who did exactly the same thing, not necessarily on his first day, but he did dent his fuel tank, and it's caused him all kinds of problems since. But I believe, and I haven't checked this with Kawasaki, but I believe that a replacement fuel tank is £2,000. That's in the UK, which is a colossal amount of money. I mean, just huge money. And most other vehicles, like these cars on the road that we're probably just about to see, most other vehicles you're able just to knock the dent out and correct the issue in some way, and then respray it. I touched on the last video about the 5 things that I love about the H2, that it's got a special kind of paint infused with silver, it's applied in a different way. Now the issue with that is that you can't do a normal fix to this bike. It's just a replacement part, which can get very expensive. This is a carbon variant. It's got this big carbon fibre panel on the front. The front cowling is carbon fibre. Again, I've not verified this, but I've been told that that piece of carbon fibre costs £5,000. £5,000 if you want to replace it. Which is incredible. So of course, you either pay the £5,000 or you make a claim, and if you make a claim the premiums go up and you just join this perpetual circle of cost. So that's my third thing about the H2, the cost. I will caveat this video just by saying that for my moaning about the Ninja H2 today, I wouldn't change it for the world. I love the bike. It's a special bike. And I'd recommend it to anybody who's ready for one.
Okay, yeah, ladies and gents, I am back in the garage. I am nice and warm, in some warm clothes again, thank God. The bike is put away for the night. I just wanted to say, if you like that content, please do like and subscribe. I'm really trying to grow this channel, get it up off the ground, and I can only do that with your help. So if you could, please like and subscribe. Drop a comment down below if you have any questions about anything that was mentioned in the video today. and also click the bell notification. I'm trying to release a new video every single Wednesday, regular release date Wednesdays, so you'll be informed of any new content that comes up as and when it comes up if you do that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for another video soon.